Two legendary Irish rugby teams are set to do battle in the Cara Cup. The Connacht Eagles take on Ulster in this round-robin competition here at the Union Point Sports Complex. A good evening to you. I'm John Broker, joined by legendary rugby coach Steve Lewis and Rugby Wrap-Ups Matt McCarthy for this invigorating contest. We are set to get this contest underway, have done, and it is a high early kick to the middle of the field. Connacht fields it.
Back by Green.
And take it straight in there. That's through big Sean O'Brien, the inside center, as a waiting forward pod blasts off to the side. Connacht on the run quickly here, just inside their 40-meter line. Have crossed it through that number 8. Robin Copeland and Mitchell decides to go to the boot and launches one downfield. May have been a bit overcooked, however. We're going to come back and take the line out.
Yeah, fairly standard start to the game there. You know, a couple of green sheets from Connacht, 3-4 phases, then not finding much in behind the Ulster defence. Chose to put it behind them, but not an accurate kick.
Six, man.
And John, for Connacht, you mentioned Sean O'Brien rambling forward.
No ball, lads.
The staff said he's a player to watch.
Just 9, yeah.
At number 12.
6'1", 222 inside, 222-pound inside center. He certainly is a lot to watch. We get a look of Graham Curtis there. So we have our first line out of the game. And it is to Ulster, as we said, in white. That's Zach McCall from Belfast. Puts the ball in and gets it out to their backs. They're wrapping around here. They're looking to go wide quickly as this Ulster team. And skirting through there is Graham Curtis, Zimbabwean born. And he spills the ball forward. We're going to come back to our first scrum of the game, a reset. Starting point for the game here. Early mistake there from Connacht, but certainly some adventure, Steve.
Yeah, both sides looking to move the ball straight away. You know, conditions tonight, it's definitely brisk. It's a little cool. The wind not as much of a problem as last Sunday, but there's still a bit of a window out there that may affect tactical decisions by both sides.
And Connacht, I talked to some of the staff before, and they said that they have the advantage because they know the weather right now, if they can have an advantage.
Yeah, and Connacht played against a local New England Free Jacks, Boston, New England area's first professional rugby team, who is part of this major competition. As we see James Mitchell, the 23-year-old scrum half for Connacht, set to put it in, wearing number 9. And we'll see how this interesting scrum battle goes. Ball is away, and they're going to go to the boot and just try to play the territory game as they push it downfield. Does Connacht. Sending Ewan Hughes back on it. Hughes looks for touch, finds it. Not too much ground. We're going to have a great attacking line out here for this Connacht set of forwards.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Hughes play as well. Actually, he's represented Ireland on the 7th circuit, obviously being something of a 7s aficionado. I'm keen to see what he's got up his sleeves.
We're here, just here, yeah. Just here. Just here.
Referee gets us sorted here.
That's a
down. They're going to go straight for a driving maul, try to power this forward.
Okay, no cheat, 7.
Great defensive work there from Marcus Ray, the captain.
1-9.
Ball is at the tail in Johnny Murphy's hands.
That's a steer maul. 2 claps, 2.
And now they're going to have to move it through their forwards.
Okay,
just
7
a little
off
pick
feet,
forward
7.
there. We'll see where they try to spread the field with Mitchell. Mitchell releases the ball to one of his waiting forwards. They're at the 22 of Ulster. And first penalty of the evening against Ulster there, and we're going to have an opportunity here for this Connacht team.
Yeah, referee making a statement earlier there. Ulster player not moving fast, and referee just pinging it straight away. Very kickable opportunity. He should opt for the 3.
This kick would put Connacht ahead by 3 points as we take a look at it here.
Yeah, good carry. Ulster player just not getting out of the way in time and actually moving forward over the ball.
Yeah.
You have to move away from the ball, and you have to move away quickly.
Touch of help from the Connacht forwards keeping him in there, but nonetheless, it's on him to get out of there. So he did not do so. And we are going to have an early shot here.
And we did warn referee Busby that Steve Lewis was in the booth and was watching.
I'm a changed man.
Connor Dean, the Blackrock man, will take this shot. Slots it no problem. We're at 3-0. Connacht over Ulster just under 5 minutes into this Cara Cup game here at the home ground of the New England Free Jacks.
John, the last time these two teams faced each other was in the Celtic Cup, and it was explained to me that the win-loss thing wasn't the big deal. It was who was going to raise their hand and make the coach's job difficult.
And that's a lot of these players looking to move up the ranks into the senior teams, so that is certainly a big part of this effort. They want to show how they travel, how they cope with this. Ball up to Connacht again.
Ulster did win that match, for the record.
Okay, so there was a winner.
Yeah, and it was a Connacht coach that said it wasn't important.
As again, Mitchell gets caught up that time.
Okay, it's fine. It's there now. Underhook's good. Let it come, White. No, no, White.
Referee telling Ulster what they're doing wrong here.
No, ball's in. It's back.
And this will be Mitchell, former Sale player. Doesn't get too much distance on it, and it's into the hands of Ulster. Ulster with a great attacking position just outside the 22 of this Connacht Eagles side, and Ulster puts one of their pods of forwards through, and they're going to move it. We'll see how they can do with this next run. Defense, you can see, really squaring up there for Connacht and covering the field, so they're going to have to find their opportunity here. Jack Regan was calling for the ball, but the referee's going back for a penalty against Ulster. Connacht gets out of that one. He's going to have the opportunity to move this ball downfield.
11 clearly beyond.
Yeah, and they have some continuity going, right? They've had the one game under their belt against the Free Jacks, and it was interesting that the coach said they don't expect the physicality that they got from the Free Jacks here, but they expect the expanse, the width, to be much greater.
And a good touch there from Connor Dean, the 21-year-old, pushes the ball downfield, and Connacht with Johnny Murphy, played a little rugby for Rotherham in England, is going to put this ball in. And taken away by Ulster. Good steal right there. As they're at their own 22. No problem.
Okay, it's stay there. You're
able to get back up again. And Strong moves it.
Okay,
again, the 9 Strong getting into the centers there. They're getting caught at their 22 by this Connacht defense. As Marcus Ray, the captain, takes that one, slides it just a little bit, and it's up to Ross Kane.
Not held.
Wasn't held initially, but is going to stay down. The Queen's University Belfast player.
Ball is taken back. It's taken back. Ball's in.
And to a box kick goes the number 9 there. Again, doesn't find too much distance on that. Good contest in the air, but Connacht come down with it, and it is Connor Hayes takes that one in. Now they pop it up to James Connolly. Connolly, the 25-year-old, recycles that ball. De Butler, the fullback, comes in and has to play that ball back into Mitchell. Mitchell moves it across field. They've got some runners and a little width if they can move this ball quickly. And nearly through is one of the Connacht forwards. And this Connacht Eagles team tying together the phases here. As they move it quickly, now they go to the toe, try to push it inside the 22. Looking for a little kick pass there. And it's well fielded by Ulster through Johnny McPhillips.
No!
Their fly half referee tells James Mitchell to stay on his own side. Last box kick, nothing to write home about, but this time Strong puts one up and finds the touch that he's looking for. It's going to be a Connacht line out here after some good defensive pressure.
Yeah, so you saw Connacht, if you watch what they did there, they just went side to side, same way. Relatively easy to defend. Ulster's defensive shape was good. Their line speed was good. They were getting in the faces, with the exception of one half tackle. A very good defensive set by Ulster. Forced Connacht to kick, regain possession, so now we move back up the field.
We took a quick look there at that earlier miscue, but now we're back into live action. Nice little short pass coming through there. Doesn't go to hand, knock on an advantage here for Ulster as they're going to move this ball quickly. They are just over halfway through Graham Curtis. Quickly up to one of their waiting forwards there. And off they go into the backs. That's McPhillips. McPhillips finds a runner. Little offload goes off there to Ben Power. Ben Power tries to put a pass out. Doesn't quite happen, but wonderful work there from Caleb Montgomery to field that ball. And Ulster on the move, about just inside their own half. Get the ball up to Jack Regan, but accidentally just bumps into one of his own players there. So we're going to come back for a scrum to Connacht here.
Yeah, you know what? Want to watch a couple of players in the front row for Connacht. As we watch the replay, Jordan Duggan. We'll get back to him in a minute. John, take this.
Yeah, you see the ball just come straight out here. That's Jack Regan there, but bumps into one of his own players who was in front of him, so it's kind of an accidental offsides. Come back for a scrum there just to reset it. Nothing worth penalizing there. We're going to have on halfway a scrum for Connacht.
Yeah, so getting back to that in the front row, Jordan Duggan is what was referred to as the new kid on the block to watch in the front row for Connacht. Or Connacht, Stephen. Apologize.
And he's coming in with Connor Kenny, who was the man of the match in their first Cara Cup game. Gave the New England Free Jacks a bit of trouble.
Fine.
So we take a look at the Ballymena man, Michael Strong.
Okay, guys, just a bit more.
Referee Busby brings us up.
Just hold out the gap. There, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if we have the amount of whistles in the front row disruptions that we had on Saturday. I don't think we're going to see that.
Yeah. That's okay.
Should be a little more stable for these two teams. Referee's certainly letting the teams know what he wants here. Even from outside of our booth here, you can hear the wind picking up just a little bit here at Union Point Sports Complex. As Steve pointed out, the temperature is going to drop just a little bit this evening into the mid-30s from 40 on this crisp first day of spring. And off goes Mitchell. Mitchell tries to get one in behind, but a block, and the ball comes down to the Butler. The Butler well fielded. And off they go through Maximu, the captain. Certainly an inspirational player for this team. Connor Dean moves it out in the centers, and they've created another point of contact here. Have runners either way if they want them, but they're going to go wide quickly. The ball is in Hugh Lane's hands. He scored twice in their first Cara Cup match. And quick ball back out to a waiting pot of forwards there. They've got runners across the field. Let's see if they can find a mismatch in this defensive line. They put it up to that big fella, Jordan Duggan. And Duggan makes a couple of meters. The Butler comes up with it, had an on-running forward with him, but couldn't quite find him and wriggles his way into some safe space there. And as they come across wide, quickly, we've got we've got Connor Hayes. Connor Hayes is going to score our first try of the game in the corner. Just a little mismatch. Connor Hayes, number 11 for Connacht, puts our first 5-pointer on the board. Pretty easy days.
Yeah, so what we saw there was Connor typically going to the first man to pivot rather than going out the back. He used 2 missed passes, one on the right side, one on the left side, which finally sprung the winger. Just a plain one-on-one play, beat his opposite man, touchdown in the corner.
A couple of Connors teaming up on that one.
Certainly are. Dean to Hayes, and they score it in the corner. Nice step going around Hughes there. And Hughes will want to make up for that missed tackle. As we get another look at Connor Hayes running that one in. 8-3 right now. Or 8-0 right now. Sorry, can't read what I'm looking at.
You know, getting back to the wind picking up, I don't think you can have a complaint that's legitimate from a team from Ulster and a team from Galway, Connacht, complaining about the weather tonight.
That's a famous face there, standing holding a water bottle. The coach here, Eric Elwood, famous, illustrious number 10 for Ireland of the past, not even the recent past.
And under the watchful eye of Eric Elwood, Connor Dean doesn't hit that one, and we're still at 8-0, just under 15 minutes gone in this first inter-Irish Cara Cup match. Connacht 8, Ulster 0.
Steve, you know something too about the Ulster coaching staff as well.
Yeah, Ulster coaching staff, very illustrious. So you've got the man himself, Willie Anderson, a man from my era, 27 caps for Ireland. His most iconic moment was leading the characteristically Irish approach to a haka against the All Blacks game when they confronted the All Blacks. So a legend in the game, some other touring pranks he's been noted for. He's joined by Kieran Campbell, an Irish scrum half, got 3 caps for Ireland, more recent vintage.
Indeed.
Just a couple of traded kicks there. We're going to go to a line out for Ulster.
Zach McCall.
McCall puts that one up towards the tail of the line out. Connacht disrupts it again. Well done. Ball comes down to the try scorer, Hayes. And Connacht, about 30 meters out from their own line. Mitchell sizes up his options, gets the forwards in front of him that he wants, hoists a box kick into this Weymouth air, and ball's going back there for Jack Owens. Very lucky. Good call from the referee. And Ulster on the run.
Steve, do you agree with that call by the
Yes, I
referee?
do.
Oh.
Down and back.
Pig just flew by the booth.
Little ball just goes by the back, and now it's into Ewan Hughes' hands. Hughes takes the ball in, and they've settled off again. Just trying to get a little forward momentum here out of some of the big boys on this team. And that one comes back down to McPhillips. McPhillips launches one, looking for some territory. Takes a funny bounce in this field, but well fielded by James Mitchell. He puts a little pop kick in there, just trying to relieve some pressure from himself. And Ulster breaks to the line through McPhillips.
I'll let 9, you're off feet, 9.
Now the ball is out. Looks like Caleb Montgomery taking that one in. And Strong goes to the boot, pushes it inside the 22. Taken in by Connacht. They can put this one directly out if they'd like to, and have gotten a good territory there. Ulster, however, have other ideas. McPhillips takes a quick ball. They have a little bit of pressure on them. They're going to try to move this across field, but cannot. They're going to have to settle for a midfield ruck here.
Okay, hold on,
as the ball comes back off a Strong. And Ulster launch one downfield. Little favorable bounce there into touch. We're going to have a Connacht line out inside their own zone.
Yeah, better kick from McPhillips there. What you're looking for from kicks is 2 things. You either got to find space, which he did that time, or if there's a box kick, for instance, it has to be contestable. So far this evening, standard of kicking hasn't been great. That, however, was a good one.
And high performance and scrum coach Blackie, Mike Black, said McPhillips is a player to watch.
And he's certainly been electric so far when he touches the ball as the 22-year-old. Played for Ulster 23 times, actually, for the senior team. And here's Johnny Murphy, very dynamic in the first Cara Cup game against the New England Free Jacks.
Okay. Let's have it again. A bit earlier, but let's get outside the red line, please. Yeah, don't close.
Referee Busby doing an awful lot of explaining here, trying to get these teams sorted out before he takes any harsher action as the ball goes up to the line out. Connacht gets a good squeeze on there. They've crossed their own 40-meter line. They've got the Ulster forwards in all sorts of disarray here. They are headed for midfield. Great tight unit work here. And we are going to come back for a penalty inside of that maul against Ulster. And an excellent work on a driving maul by this Connacht set of forwards.
Yeah, set pieces. I mean, the scrum, we've only had 2 or 3, relatively comparable. Line out there, that was a significant play by Connacht. They got a good catch, good drive, rumbled about 20 yards, and they got the benefit penalty on the body, further 20, 30 yards down the field.
Steve, as a coach, do you have to say anything in particular to you guys from Ulster if you're playing here for the first time on a Wednesday night?
No.
There's lots of things you can say. Back to the replay there, you can just see Connacht getting good drive on, and it splintered off. Referee picked it up, though.
The Ulster player just got lost in the middle of that maul and decided to take down the ball carrier. Moving a bit quick on him as Murphy again puts one up. And they are just outside of the Ulster line. The ball is in Johnny Murphy's hands.
the same
Johnny
ball.
Murphy, the 27-year-old, rolls away. They look like they have this one coming. He's over the line. Johnny Murphy scores a try.
Wow.
Second try of the evening, scored from the electric hooker, Johnny Murphy. Great teamwork.
Yep, definitely getting a bit of reward again at that second line out. So obviously something that Connacht can build on here. If you're the Ulster coaches, you've got to have a little bit of worry about that. You've got to get a message in, how we're going to deal with this rolling maul, but it needs to be stopped.
Connacht Eagles look right at home here in Weymouth.
They certainly do. As we get another look there, that's great teamwork. Everybody bound together, just splintered that Ulster defense there. Jack Owens came in from the wing, couldn't stop it, and they just barreled right over with Johnny Murphy getting the rewards. But I'm sure if you asked him, he would congratulate all 8 of his forwards. Good bit of teamwork there.
Speaking of congratulations, that's some great camera work we've had so far, making our job easier.
Connor Dean missed his last one. Curls this one. It looks like it's going to go just fine. Assistant referees are good with it.
Careful with the ball there.
And we are at 15-0. Connacht over Ulster. Just about halfway through this first half of Cara Cup action.
Entry's fine. Just be careful afterwards.
The referee just having a chat there. Ulster boys already starting to have to chase this game.
Yeah, well, you would think, Connacht obviously game under the belts, 3-4 days over here together, preparation, and probably a little more cohesive than Ulster. Neither team had played much since Christmas, so they've probably got a little edge there. Ulster got to find something now. 15 points down with only 20 minutes gone. They've got to get toehold back in this game.
And that was Hughes with those 7's feet.
Back off
they
wide,
slide the ball
backwards.
out and miss their intended runner. And it's J.J. McKee,
Okay, it's
the
out 9.
Ballymena Rugby Club man. Puts the ball out to Ben Power. A little play out the back there, and they're looking for some width. Well defended there by Connacht. A little offload slipped up to Caleb Montgomery there, the Porta Down man. So Regan from Offaly comes up with it, and Ulster getting through some phases here, not getting too much ground. We'll see what kind of decisions they make there as Jack Owens comes around, and they're able to find a little bit of green grass there, and they go to the boot, but well fielded by Connor Hayes.
No, it's on his chest.
Connor Hayes well tackled.
Let it go.
And Mitchell, Dean, they keep it on that short side there through Corey Reed, another Irish A-grade player. Wind up from Mitchell. Hurts some of the time, and they go for a kick pass there to come across.
Lovely.
And it is well fielded by Sean Masterson. That's his first we've seen of him carry the ball, but after all that great work, he just spills one forward there. But a really tight defense there by Ulster allows that kick.
Yeah. Sorry, Steve.
And we're going to
So
take...
there he is, the unwitting, the witting recipient of that crossfield kick. What was he doing lurking out there in the sideline? Blind side forward, but good run, strong run, spilled the ball though.
That was clearly drawn up in training, okay, number one. Number two, you got to like the fact that a flanker is out there and can catch the ball.
Give the benefit in the middle of the pitch, or just real quicker, yeah.
We have a scrum here
it's
for
quicker, yeah.
Ulster.
Yeah.
Back to that,
Say again, John.
the advantage of the match, Connacht is down to 22 players because they're getting banged around by the Free Jacks.
They had a rough first game, but they still have enough players. They have 15 on the field, so we'll see how they do.
Run! Bind! Set!
Michael Strong again gets us started at scrum time here.
Okay.
Ball was at Dunleavy's feet, but referee Busby is going to bring this one up.
That's both binds. Let's get them up.
Steve, we're about 23, 24 minutes in, and there's a couple of Ulster players that haven't actually touched the ball yet. They've got to get some rhythm going, some phases.
Okay, that's
to Steve's point, they haven't played much. At least Connacht have one game under the belt in this Cara Cup. They're certainly not for lack of players here. See if they can tie it together. Well, for this phase, I'm sure they'd love to get some points. It's just over 15 minutes to go in this first half.
Run! Bind! Set!
Armstrong gets that one in, and they move it quickly into the midfield. They're looking to get some width built on this one and have done. They've got it in Hughes' hands. He puts it out to the wing quickly. And that's Graham Curtis. Graham Curtis finds a little bit of room. Let's see, can he hand off one? Bundled in a touch.
Okay,
Great cover tackle there from Connacht. But wonderful work across the field for this Ulster team, and they show what they can do with ball in hand. We will look at Graham Curtis. Born in Zimbabwe, went to school in South Africa, now in Ulster.
A good cover tackle from his opposing winger, Conor Hayes, coming in from the other side to save the day. Save Connacht's bacon, as it were.
A little high on that tackle? Well, these days, right?
Murphy again gets it up there to Peter Claffey, the 22-year-old Buccaneers player.
Once again, this line-out's working for Connacht.
That's okay, so there you go.
Good clean take, got it under control.
Winger,
stop! Winger definitely offside.
Yeah,
and back it goes.
The referee was saying that for quite some time. It looked like Hugh Lane was just a bit in front of that ball. Zach Mitchell had all the room in the world to launch one.
Offside.
But again, we haven't had the stoppages, the whistles, the infractions that we had on Saturday. But these are two more experienced teams, and they're probably used to these officials as well.
Yeah, and they're certainly, well, the Ulster boys should be used to these guys. They're both from the Ulster Referee Society. They probably know a lot about them.
Clearly identifiable by those Belfast brogues.
As Ulster move this one down, now it's their opportunity to try to drive one here if they would like. Zach McCall tries to get it in, but the referee wants to slow down, make sure everything's set. Just having a bit of a chat with the Connacht boys.
Let's go wide, on you.
McCall, another U20 for Ireland in this group. They've got that one in. They're going to try to drive. Let's see if Connacht can defend this as well as they can make this happen. And driving towards the line they are. They're getting splintered towards the touchline. Connacht trying to hold them out, and they have to go to some ball movement there. Pops it up to one of his waiting forwards, and it was knocked on in that tackle.
Oh.
And we're going to come back for a scrum here to Connacht. Very lucky to get away with that one.
Some strong defense. Again, playing on with that front row, firing. You got Johnny Murphy's all over the pitch. Here's your replay.
Get a look here as
just here as he went for the line. Yeah.
Ulster just spilled that one on the floor.
No, just here as he went.
So last couple of scrums, what I noticed is a slight issue on the Ulster loosehead side. It looks like Conor Kenny hit the Connacht tight heads, getting a bit of supremacy there. Let's just watch it again. Ulster loosehead seemed to go down twice. Nothing came of it from a referee's perspective, but let's keep an eye on it.
Just a time and I think, but yeah, that's Mark's here. Okay, yeah. Take more space, minute. Let's go. Okay.
It's a nice crowd coming in here on a Wednesday night.
It certainly is a good crowd here, building just outside of Boston.
Beautiful
Weymouth.
moon.
Fine.
As we take a look at Connacht deep inside
That.
their own zone here. A little bit of pressure on them to win a clean ball. Nice and stable there. You can see as they're going to go for an exit strategy and move the ball into the midfield. O'Brien, that hard runner, brings that one in. Mitchell.
Stay on that. No, ball's in. Touched.
Ball gets touched by an Ulster player. And Ulster on the run back around. That's Jack Owens. Takes that one in. Keeping it alive here are these Ulster forwards through Joe Dunleavy. Now they're trying to slip through that Connacht line. There's some spaces here if they can find them. They just stay on the short side there and go through Stuart Moore, the Malone Rugby Club product, and it's been knocked on. Connacht come up with it with an advantage. We'll see what they decide to do with this. Remember, only a scrum advantage here, so not going to go on for too long as Connacht holds on to it and just get a couple of more meters. Mitchell may try to go to the boot with this one. The advantage is over, so they have to play it. inside their 22. A bit of a challenge. They're going to slide this one across field, and that pass does not go to hand. And in a bit of trouble is Connacht, and sliding the ball across to Marcus Ray is Ulster, and Ulster on the march now, just about 5 meters out from this Connacht line. Connacht trying to disrupt that scrum, and penalty coming in against the Ulster team there, and just didn't move that ball quickly enough.
Yeah, well, interesting. Pretty adventurous from the Connacht side. They moved the ball wide, but if you're going to be adventurous in your own 22, you need to be precise. The ball went loose. Ulster actually had a chance there and went over the ball in the ruck, conceding the penalty, so that was an opportunity missed for Ulster.
Unfortunately, just when they were getting some rhythm, but it's been Ulster on the front foot so far lately.
You can see some, good. Ulster is starting to put their rhythm together, like you said. They got to get that down and starting to stretch a ball across the field, and they look pretty good, as you see here. Player just not getting away quick enough and laying on the ball. Referee forced to go to the penalty.
Just held the contest, yeah. Scrum's good, your side. One. If you set up at that angle and that scrum goes down or towards me, I'm going to penalise you. You need to be, otherwise I'm going to penalise you. Yes, I will, yeah. 5, yeah.
And we're going to go down to Leverett Bell on the sideline right now to see what's going on closer to the pitch.
Okay. That's fine. Got a sub, yeah?
Their prop. Connor is really, he's coming off of, a big job in the opener against the New England Free Jacks, winning man of the match. Now, I actually spoke with him before the game, and Connor Kennedy told me that he wants to, establish himself as a well-rounded player. He doesn't want to just be known as a big body in the scrum, but someone who can make plays with the ball and show some speed. We'll see what he can do tonight. Back to you.
Thank you, Leverett, and we're back in play here. Connacht has moved this ball downfield. It is going to be their line out. As we're under the 10-minute-to-go mark in this first half of Cara Cup action.
With that angle, there's not much you can do, yeah.
Yeah, so Connor Kennedy, Connacht tight head, we were just discussing there, actually came off, looked like injury to his right arm, or potentially shoulder, but he's off the park. His night would appear to be over.
5, no kids! 6, lift his leg.
Connacht on the move now.
Okay, yeah, 5 single.
Again, that powerful scrum, but referee serves okay, and Johnny Murphy has to go to ground on that one. Mitchell looking for a runner so they can reset their patterns here. The ball comes up to Claffey.
Okay, Roon!
The 22-year-old able to recycle that one. They move it back across field. They've gone to the width to see what they can get. Spilled up, however, by Connor Hayes that time. Ulster has an advantage, and they may have some room to run out here if they decide to.
7 8.
Forward just takes a little wider line to draw in a couple of additional defenders there as the ball goes in through the back, and they're looking for somebody out wide there as Ben Power has to take that one to ground. Now the ball to Zach McCall. The hooker puts in a little dummy there and takes the ball into contact. And again,
Drip.
Ulster loses the ball there as Connacht turns that one over in the tackle, and they are away on the run, and it is Peter Claffey once again.
Off.
Another transition in this game as Connacht goes on the offense. Ball out to that man, Johnny Murphy. He's already got one try here today. They come across there to Dean. Dean finds O'Brien. O'Brien into contact. Wriggles away on the ground until they find that ball free. Gets a ball up to Maximu. Maximu
release White
from Derby, England. Originally playing his rugby in Connacht now. They move the ball across, and Dean hit Murphy there, and they have to take it into contact. Dean thinks he spots a little space, but it closes eventually. And off the blind side they go, looking for just a little bit of room there. And now a little pop kick. Fielded with a fair catch free kick from Hughes. Sorry, that wasn't from Hughes. That was from Jack Owens. And Owens gets the ball outside the 22. And Ulster, a little ball at the back, and they're looking to go wide quickly again, have gotten it through the hands. Let's see if they have a runner out here, and Hughes this time has it. He's moved it out on the wing, and that's the big fella, McCall. McCall tries to keep it in, decides to pass it to Sean Masterson, and Masterson, no problem there from the Connacht players as they move it to the other side of the field. Back and forth action here from both of these teams. Certainly a willingness to run. And Connacht, they've got some runners out here, and an unfortunate knock-on is going to halt our play right there. They had the numbers.
No shortage of honest endeavour there. Both sides trying to move the ball. There's sort of reluctance to kick. That's good for a spectator to see. Balls going back and forth. No real incision. No real penetration from either side. And just their handling skills let them down.
As we take another look at this here, ball goes out there and just doesn't go to hand.
Lads, yeah. I've got a break here.
Referee Busby just going to have a bit of a word.
Here, you're putty on the outside of the tight head, and you're driving out. Okay. If the scrum comes across me out the side, you're going to be penalised. Okay?
Looks like
Yeah,
Conan O'Donnell has come into the
The
game.
girl is outside, and as we agreed before, I'm
Connor Kenny.
down the pitch. Understand?
Sligo man O'Donnell, one of a few in the squad.
I understand, but I'm telling you what I'm saying. I need you.
Steve, you gotta like that. A couple of props, talking to the ref civilly.
Okay, yeah.
Very nice.
Don't have much choice, do they?
You could turn and look at them, not say anything.
Yeah, they could, feign sort of language difficulties, but considering everyone's from the Emerald Isle, that's not.
You got this side of me, yeah. Angle.
Tonight.
Okay. You want to come up with those fellas? Yeah.
Some more than others.
Yeah, Mark's here, that's.
Just look at some of the Ulster players here as we're about 5 minutes left. 4 or 5 minutes left in this first half. There will be referees time potentially.
Right.
As we take a look at Ulster on the attack.
Bind. Set. Okay, now just hold there, yeah. Just hold.
Nice stable scrum comes out, and we'll see if they try to go wide again, which they have done. They go on a short line there to Hughes. He knocks it on in the tackle, and Connacht
Okay, 13, you're off your feet now.
able to replay this, and Connacht goes to a forward that's managed to wrap around. He's hitting a big tackle. There was Corey Reed that was hit, Marist College graduate. Marist College in the UK, obviously, in Ireland, but turned over there by Ulster. And Ulster is on the run. They are just inside the 40, and the referee's going to bring it back for a penalty against Ulster. And Connacht has all the points right now, and they're going to get possession, push this downfield most likely. And that one is against Peter Cooper for coming off his feet. Another Malone Rugby Club player.
You know, my unofficial penalty count has Ulster at 4 and Connacht at 1 right now. And that would be pretty indicative of what's going on the pitch in front of us.
Factor.
So that means these players are saints, or the referee's got good control of the game.
I think it's a combination of both, Steve. On this St. Paddy's Day week.
Yeah, so, as a coach, what you're looking to do is keep your penalty count sort of under double figures. So 4 and 1. Now the coach can complain about that.
Back, lads.
Referee Busby get the line out sorted out. Connacht has made some great ground here, just about 15 meters out. I'm sure Johnny Murphy's eyes are hungry for yet another try. And they're getting that maul together. Ulster trying with everything they can to hold that one down, but this green set of forwards is just barreling their way towards the line, and they may be able to put down another 5 points here as Ulster tries to repel this attack. Bodies coming in, flying from everywhere. They are across the line. The question is, can they get it down and have done? Assumedly, Johnny Murphy would be the try scorer. We'll see who comes up with it. And that is another 5-pointer, and not for Johnny Murphy that time. We'll have to check the number on this player. Well done.
That
by
might be Claffey.
Connacht, unstoppable. As we see the forward juggernaut just punch its way over there, and that's just a lot of pounds and a lot of pressure that they're putting in.
That clock's bang on, lads.
It's not Johnny Murphy.
Yeah, but it's a good time to mention his name. He's done well in that.
He is certainly a great player to watch. The games I've done for him, he's done very well. A minute in our game clock before we're going to referee's time. Connor Dean from the other side of the field this time. Dean eyes it up. 21-year-old gets the boot on it. He's got the distance.
As that clock, right? That clock is correct. Yeah, that clock. Yeah.
Did we see flags?
Yeah, I saw a flag go up, but not reflected quite yet on the scoreboard. But we now move to Connacht 22.
We're at 22-0. Connacht over Ulster. Yeah, just barely any time to go in this first half.
Just make sure, guys, the last one was really tight.
You know, that try was a combination of the pack working in sync, and you had right in the center of that was Robin Copeland, the number 8.
Connacht inside their own 22. Quickly go to the boot. We are above 40 minutes on our clock. We're in referee's time here.
I'll get you the lads. I'll get you.
We'll have another line out here. Ulster with an opportunity.
It's on me, actually. On me. Yeah. 5. Okay, don't close there. Great.
And up quickly go Ulster, and quickly on the run they go. Try to get in the centers. Little miscue there again. Couple of bobbled balls. Referee finally whistles one of them up. Takes a look at his watch. And that's halftime. End of the first half here. 22-0. Connacht over Ulster here at Union Point Sports Complex. Great contest so far. Connacht getting the better run of it. And we are getting ready to shoot down to Leverett Ball with an interview in just a minute. And we're going to shoot down to Leverett Ball, having a conversation with Eric Elwood.
Thank you, gentlemen. So, Coach, obviously, you're able to move the ball well offensively. What was clicking for you out there? And, what were you able to do effectively to be able to go into the half with the lead?
Well, the important thing for us is that we had a good start. I think when we kept the ball and built some phases, we stressed their defence. So the key thing is just to keep doing what we're doing in attack, and then defence is important. We just get off the line and make our shots and tackles. And the key thing is we got a little bit loose at times there. So the key thing is stick to our structures, stick to our plays, and don't get too loose.
And, how helpful is this tournament for you just to be able to analyze some of the young talent you have up and coming?
Absolutely. That's the whole purpose of this trip. We've got academy boys, we've got the sub-academy boys, we've got young boys who are relishing this opportunity. So I'm glad for them. It's exposed them to this level of rugby, and it's a great opportunity for them.
And my last question, Coach, what adjustments, if any, do you need to make in the second half?
Well, for us, I think obviously we've had a very good productive 40 minutes. There's no doubt that Ulster will get a purple patch. The key thing for us is that we stick to our process, we stick to our structures, and just keep doing what we're doing.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Pleasure.
Back to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Leverett. And we're back with some exciting analysis of that first half. Connacht really had the run of the numbers on that, but Ulster certainly, is making a game of it here, trying to move the ball. What was the biggest thing for you in the first half?
Well, it's pretty clear. So open game, pretty even, territory-wise, but 22-0 on the scoreboard, and what that does is reflect the supremacy Connacht had in one area of the game, and that area was the line-out. 3 times they clicked, line-out, good catch, clean drive, splinter the Ulster defence, pay dirt. Rolling ball, line-out, that's where it's happening. That's the difference.
Matt?
And you got the numbers. Stats don't lie. And my astute accounting, and I'm subject to much criticism for this if I'm wrong, but I've got Ulster with 4 penalties against to Connacht's 1, and I've got 5 knock-ons to 0. And again, that's subject to checking out by all of you folks at home.
Right. And to me, Ulster just doesn't quite have the rhythm right now that Connacht has. But right now, we're going to go to a World Cup preview, and we're going to come back with some first half highlights in just a minute.
Working at the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, and this area called Ginza, which is center of Tokyo.
Memphis, Tennessee ranks number 1 in child poverty. And we're talking about neighborhoods where kids get shot. And where drugs and gangs are still a reality. And we're here because we see systematic inequality stacked against us. And we did what we knew we could do. We did all by the match grant. For every boys team we started in Memphis, Tennessee, we started a girls team side by side. People are watching, and our children, the ones you see on these pictures right now, right here, and 195 more of them, it's meaningful to them that a bunch of people in New York City would care about them. That a bunch of people in New York City, regardless of how different we look, how about 1,000 miles separates us, whether you care about the square whether you're not, it's meaningful when they can learn that people are invested in their lives.
We're back here at the Union Point Sports Complex for the Cara Cup, where Connacht lead 22-0 over Ulster A. Pretty interesting first half. Connacht really getting the better of it. We're going to bring you some highlights in just a second. But what does Ulster need to do in this second half?
Need to sort out that rolling maul. That's message number one in that tent right now. They need to address that. A couple of different ways of doing it. You either compete at the line out, or if you don't compete, you have to target the ball carrier and you have to get some heft behind it. They haven't done that so far. They've allowed Connacht to dominate it and basically extract 15 points.
All right, and Ulster, they're really going to have to stop them all, going to have to get those passes going to hand, and, going to take it to them in the second half. I'm sure they're talking about it in there right now as we take a look at some highlights here.
Yeah, there's Connacht drawing a penalty early on.
Yeah, just an early penalty against this Ulster team as we take a look now at James Mitchell.
But, guys, while the highlights roll, you have to make some changes if you're Ulster, right? In your strategy, at least. Their strength was going to be in the backs. It's been neutralized. And maybe the loss of Connor Kenny in the front row, the man of the match against the Free Jacks, but you have Conan O'Donnell, who started in that match, stepping in. So maybe it's the depth of the Connacht Eagles the lack of depth tonight, perhaps, that might weigh in the favor of Ulster going forward.
For me, it's that, and it's just the fact that Connacht has been here for a few days and has that one game under their belt against New England Free Jacks, New England's first professional rugby team, going to be playing in Major League Rugby next year. They've had just a few days, and that's all these teams need. Their systems are down. The way they play in Connacht is the way they want these boys to play. And Ulster, you can see them trying to do some of the things that the senior team does, but they're just not going to hand. Those you're talking about going wide. Those passes just aren't getting there. So they really need to step up there and just get that rhythm together.
Well, let's be fair to both these teams. I mean, they're scratch teams, right? These are not guys who are training together, playing together week in, week out. These are guys that have been put together for this tour, and that's the purpose of this tour, is to see, what they've got. So you've got a combination of academy, a combination under 20, some senior players sprinkled throughout. So to expect them to come out and be really cohesive, maybe a bit too much. As you said, John, quite correctly in my estimation, Connacht have had 3-4 days and one game under the belt, and that's the difference.
Yeah, we're not going to see Willie Anderson throwing folding chairs in the clubhouse in this one, right, for Ulster?
But we do have two legendary rugby programs looking at their system players as you see Connacht in green retaking the field here at the Union Point Sports Complex, Weymouth, Massachusetts.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter whether it's, A-side rugby, whether it's tiddlywinks, dominoes, darts, or whatever. Connacht against Ulster is going to be competitive. People have got pride on the line. Particularly all these young players are playing for contracts, right? They are playing for their future as a professional rugby player. So for everyone on that field, it matters. And you're going to see significant endeavour and effort in the second half.
Well said, Stephen.
All right, referee Busby here is ready to get us underway again. And to reset, this is John Broker with legendary coach Steve Lewis. Rugby wrap-ups, Matt McCarthy. On the sideline, we have Leverett Ball.
You've got me okay, Tim, up there, don't you? Yeah.
Exciting second half of Cara Cup action headed your way.
Sorry, lads, we're waiting for TV. Sorry, lads, we're waiting for TV. You're good to go, though, Marcus? Yeah. Yeah.
We've got the referee directing the broadcast as well.
Cheers, Johnny.
We're just about set to get underway here. Referee whistles for the start of the second half. And a little short one from Connacht that time. Does not go to hand for Ulster. Pressure on them. They've been able to recover that. Zach McCall over that. They move the ball out to big Ross Kane, 5'8", 255-pound tight head prop. Ball gets pushed back to McPhillips. Another one of these Irish U20 players out here. Sit down, and Connacht pushes it down into the Weymouth night sky. The fast feed on Ewan Hughes.
Ian, you're off feet.
Clear to see as a sevens player as Strong looks one way, goes the other. Strong again. See where they try to go, and they're looking for that width right away as they slide one back in this time. Hard hit comes in from Big Joe Maximu, 6'7". 235-pound second row. And a nice little ball gets there and slipped through with Stuart Moore. Stuart Moore tries to move it wide to Graham Curtis. And Curtis this time is able to wriggle away from a couple. And knocking on the Connacht door early in this second half are the Ulster A squad. And they've reset another one. Let's see what they can come up with here as they try to move it across the field. Now they look out back. They've got some runners wide if they can get it. Can they hit it? They moved it to Hughes. Hughes just gets inside the 5-meter line. Great covering defense there from Connacht. Holds them up. Now they pop it up to Marcus Ray, the captain. Marcus Ray can't quite get to the line, and they're trying to power this one over. Bit of sheer force of will there, and they've got an advantage for something we'll find out that Connacht has done. So they have a bit of a free play here, and they go quick off the back there and headed towards the line. They are, and they get it over. Ulster draws first blood in the second half, and they are on fire as we get going.
Yeah, good individual effort there to finish it off. I thought when they moved the ball across field the first time, they didn't really stay straight. They didn't really fix the defenders, and that's why they ran out of space towards the end. But retained possession, went through a couple of phases and got it over the line. A good early response from Ulster beginning the second half.
Here's a look at one of those early passes and the great work from Graham Curtis there. 5'9", 19-year-old, able to get away from a number of players, draw a number of defenders, and they push the ball in. We'll try to see who comes across with this. Could have been big Caleb Montgomery. Has another just power once he finds that space there, and they get it across the line.
Yeah, good individual effort. Just shook off the attention. 2-3 defenders close to the line, managed to ground the ball.
And Stuart Moore with that long run, the burst up the middle of the number 13. We didn't see that in the first half.
Another Malone RFC player. As McPhillips, his first kick of the evening is good, and we are at 22-7. Ulster starts us off in this second half.
That's exactly what they needed to get back in this game, give themselves a foothold. 22-7, statement of intent, first couple of minutes in the second half.
If the coach's words at halftime were somebody has to get something done, that was certainly a reaction as that individual effort works, and Connacht pushes the ball to the 22 and rolls in a touch. We'll have a line out here for Ulster.
Okay, White, let's go. How many?
McCall finds his forwards, going to get a message in. Big Peter Cooper lets him know what they want.
Okay, guys, just hold.
Referee holding them up here just a second.
A little shove and a little smile.
Okay, that's a good one, yeah. Don't close it, now one, don't close it.
A call to the center of the line there, taken down by Peter Claffey, but knocked on by Connacht in the air there. We're going to come down to a scrum now for Ulster, and they're lucky to get away with that one.
Just forward by Green, it's a scrum. White. On the 15, yeah.
Looks like Ulster may be making a substitution here. Number 22, David McCann, warming up. Looks like he might be coming on. I'd be surprised if it would either indicate an injury. You wouldn't want to make a substitution necessarily this quick after the half from a tactical perspective.
We saw just a little knock forward in the line out there that results in this Ulster scrum.
Crutch. Bind. Set.
And a penalty at scrum time against Connacht. This time, and Duggan
Number 1
seems to be the man who is penalized there.
His angle is an issue.
Newbridge man.
I'd hire for your side too, though. Yeah, please.
And Ulster push this one downfield, find some good room, and they're going to have an attacking line out. See where they try to go with this as that substitution is made.
That's marked here, yeah.
McCann seems to be coming in for Montgomery.
Just here, yeah.
Yeah, great nudge there from McPhillips. That's what you need from a penalty, 45, 50 yards up the left touch line.
6.
Maybe Willie Anderson did throw a folding chair or two in that clubhouse.
Phil, can you give us 10, yeah?
He's not afraid of a challenge.
Okay, they're on the air. They're on the air.
This time Ulster comes down with it no problem, and Strong moves it out into the midfield. They're going to try to set a platform to play from here as one of their big centers barrels through some of that contact there, and they've just moved a little wraparound there. The forwards are coming to the right-hand side. They're going to try to build some space out wide. McPhillips puts away a little pass that gets knocked on. Hard luck there for Ulster as Connacht will get a scrum just about 30 meters out from their own line.
Yeah, you almost sense just before that knock on there that a little momentum shift. Ulster came out, scored well, moving forward again. Scrum penalty, and moved down the field, and we're going well until the unfortunate mistake.
Finding us back,
Connacht penalized in the last scrum. They'll want to get this sorted out.
The smattering of snow reminding us that it's not spring yet. Officially, nobody told Mother Nature here in Boston.
Crisp first day of spring today, actually. But it certainly still feels like winter. Connacht under a bit of pressure. Now getting the drive on, and they draw the penalty against Ulster. Looked like it might have gone the other way for a second there, and great response to that last scrum. Connacht will get the penalty to be able to move the ball downfield should they choose.
Okay, yeah, fair. If it gets as messy as that, it's very hard to play. But
Conan O'Donnell giving his team high fives. He was excited about that. That's a nice win for them. Fighting back.
Fine, I'll come that side next.
And a great kick there from Connacht. And they will have a line out at the 40-meter line.
So good to see in the far side there, assistant referee Amelia Luciano. She's a native from these parts, and good to see her get a run in a big game like this, increasing her experience. Good reward for her efforts over the years.
And up to the big number 7 they go. Conley comes down with it. Connacht getting that drive-on ball safely in Johnny Murphy's hands, and he is always happy at the back of that maul as they power their way forward as a unit. Starting to shear just off to the left, but they maintain it, and Ulster
don't drop it 3.
Certainly at a spot of bother right here.
5 is legal. 5 is legal.
Finally, the ball has to be moved, and the ball gets sent out to O'Brien there. O'Brien into contact. Now into some free play, and just inside the 22 of Ulster as they continue to wrap around. That's the replacement there.
Okay, clear. It's good.
Conan O'Donnell, we just spoke about. Now the backs are going to try to have a run here as the Butler is able to wriggle through a couple there and keep this Ulster defense on their toes. And the ball comes up to Copeland.
7-8!
Right in front of the post. Ulster defense starting to scramble. We'll see what kind of width they have there. The ball comes around to O'Brien. He just can't quite find someone to pass to. But O'Brien heads towards the line and just uses the size and power. And Sean O'Brien touches down for Connacht. A good reply to that early Ulster try.
Yeah, great finish there from O'Brien. It wasn't just power. He showed the ball. Good dummy to the left and sensed the gap. Went for it. Went over. Killer instinct. Good to see.
Yeah, and he's a load. He's not a small guy at center. He's a solid player. I stood next to him. I would not want to have to confront him.
You just see it here. I thought the outside closed for him there, and surely enough, he was able to just keep that power going and spotted a little gap, and right through goes O'Brien. Touches it down for that try. Well worked.
Take it, or you want to wait for him?
And Ewan Hughes there
you want to take it first,
just overran that.
Oh, he's actually all right. No better. I'll not start your time anyway. Nice.
Well, to be fair to Hughes, he had to stay on the wing. He had to stay on the outside man, so can't blame him for that one.
We can and we will.
Super stuff. Thanks very much.
Connor Dean set for another shot here. Both benches are getting a little active for Ulster. Callum Reid is warming up. As Dean gets a boot to it, looks to extend the lead. Doesn't hit that one, and we're going to stay at 27-7, a 20-point gap here. Just 10 minutes gone in the second half. of Cara Cup action.
So you had Ulster come out, front foot, charging, scoring, and then the answer from Connacht.
Connacht just settles right in.
Is that conversion over?
No,
didn't
it's
look
not.
like it to me.
It's 27-7.
No flags.
27-7, yep.
And Connacht forced to push that one out. Ulster will get a good attacking spot here.
Yeah, I think they're checking that in the truck to see if that score is actually 27-7 or 29-7.
Lads, I'll let you match. Fellas in a 5, is it? 6, lads. 6 green.
Ulster through McCall. They'll need to answer quickly if they want to close down this points gap here. Ball's come up in the middle. They've taken that one down okay as they wrap around to McCall. McCall tries to send a player back in. Well met by that Connacht defense. They drive on once again through the new man, Callum Reid. Callum Reid still going. Bainbridge man. Now they got some room on the outside if they can work it. Raid tried to pass to somebody, wound up passing it just back to himself. And they're on the run into the middle of the field. Bobbled pass there. Doesn't quite happen, but Peter Cooper on the spot to come up with that, but turned over quickly from Connacht. And they may have some room outside here. Great hands working across. And Hugh Lane gets taken in. They're outside their 22. They got a little bit of a messy field here from the Ulster defense. Continue on the move for Dean. Dean just puts a runner just about 40 meters out. Little tip pass comes in there.
Okay, stay there.
And Connacht run through the phases. See if they can look for it here. And a little gap spotted there. And that looked like the big fella once again. But DeButler has it now. And he was ball to Hugh Lane. Hugh Lane's got some pace. Can he get around? Well tackled that time by Hughes, but the ball's still alive, and they're still alive here for Connacht as they head towards that Ulster line. We'll see what the defense scrambling can do here. Another pot of forward powers in, and Masterson has to come in and act in the distributor position. Ball gets moved out there to Dean. Dean just puts a runner in, tries to create some space on the outside. Good reaction from the defense of this Ulster side. And a wrap around there from Dean, a little pop back in. They need to settle into something here unless they can pull some magic from Connor Hayes. He's taken down. And that was Conan O'Donnell taking that one in.
Okay, yeah, no hands.
Johnny Murphy at the back of that. Just a little pick and go there. Ball up to O'Donnell again, and they're putting the big boys in towards the line. Let's see if they can get it over.
Okay, stay there.
They're just about 2 meters out from the Ulster line. They move it quickly to Dean. Dean finds a runner into Butler coming around the back, and they move to Hugh Lane. Well worked, Hugh Lane. Down for another try here for Connacht. The score is starting to get away from Ulster.
That was a fantastic passage of play from Connacht there. Started very deep in their own half of the counter-attack, went the whole end. They went across to the left. They came back and forth, punching tight with the forwards, moving the ball back to the right-hand corner, and a terrific score.
We'll just take a look at it here as that ball came across field and just see the turnover that created this whole thing as Connacht got started down inside their own zone. Big break coming through here. We'll pop back up, and here with the forwards drawing in all the attention, they finally decide to move it wide, and the ball moves out to Butler, comes around the back, gets the ball out to Lane, down in the corner, no problem. Great try by this now firing back line of Connacht. Nice simple move there. Well played.
Good hands, unselfish pass from the fullback. So you probably had about 15 passes there, as they went length of the field, went from right to left and back to right again. As I said before, excellent score from Connacht.
32-7, that kick is no good. And we are at 32-7, Connacht over Ulster. And we are 15 minutes gone in the second half. As we look at the try scorer there, Hugh Lane, a Galwegians player. Replacement in for Ulster. Gets us underway again. Nice high kick for his forwards to run onto
Back
there,
off
and
wide.
nearly
Okay,
taken
forward now.
down by Big Jack Regan.
Okay, easy,
But
easy.
knocked on in there. It'll come back. It'll be a Connacht scrum. Nice little weighted kick there.
Yeah, the skill set is a higher skill set, obviously, with these provincial teams. You know, and it's a great experience for teams like the Free Jacks. And we talked about it's a cultural exchange, but it's also experience for the referees, the players, etc. It's a win-win across the board.
Cultural exchange.
Okay, you got the last penalty.
Yeah.
Make sure it's straight as well, yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, the Irish are
Yeah,
cultured,
that's
Steve.
fine. Yeah, I get that.
Want to talk about Irish authors for 300?
Connacht and certainly enjoying their trip over here. This will be their last game, as they're going to head back after this. But they got to march in the famous St. Patrick's Day parade on Sunday, the Boston St. Patrick's Day parade, with the New England Free Jacks.
Right.
So certainly enjoy. I talked to the team manager earlier. They
Fine.
certainly are enjoying their time here.
Set.
Referee's going to bring that one up.
You got to take the hit, yeah. But keep the scrum at the mark. Yeah, I know, yeah. That's no tramp.
Yeah, one of the games later in the series will
Don't
be
be
played at
all
the
fellas,
Irish
yeah,
Cultural
good.
Centre in Kenton.
All right, let's go.
So-
Come on, let's go.
Maybe that's what you're thinking about, Matt.
Why don't you just tell me what I'm thinking about, Steve?
Crutch.
Good shot of Robin Copeland,
Fine.
former Munster player, actually, one of the other Irish provinces.
Set.
Irish pro teams there as the ball is put in by Mitchell. Good squeeze there from Connacht. They've drawn the penalty, and it's all Connacht in these set pieces at the moment.
Loose head angle.
Ulster in a bit of trouble there. Connacht pleased, as you can see.
Loose head angle.
And they're going to, through Connor Dean, push that ball downfield.
Enough for. Yeah, I'm on that side. Not for me. You're just.
We almost had a souvenir there.
Bounced off our booth.
Actually, just use here. Just the edge of the market now, yeah.
And it will be Connacht's line out since it was their penalty.
Right for me, yeah.
Jordan Duggan whispering the play. Johnny Murphy.
Some more.
They are down with it again. This maul has been dominant.
Okay, one.
I don't think there's any reason to change course right now, and they seem to be okay. Peter Cooper getting called out of there by the referee. And once again, this maul goes forward, but eventually splinters.
Okay, don't kill it, White. Don't kill it.
And Connacht moves that one out through Duggan. Now out there to Dean. Dean just sets a player in a contact so they can try to make some room, and they're looking for that wide wing again. De Butler slips through one. De Butler gets hooked around the head there, but De Butler's headed towards the line. He's inside the 22, can't quite make it. We have another advantage for a high tackle here. De Butler puts it onto the on-running Copeland. Copeland slips it up there
road.
to
One off,
Maximue.
guy.
They dig it out, put it into the hands of Conan O'Donnell. Dean slips through after looking for that outside pass. He's right in front of the post.
Oh, there.
Recycled, just slightly slowed down by Ulster, and they're going to come to this side as the ball goes up to James Connolly, the
There's the
25-year-old.
opportunity. There's the turnover there. That should be an Ulster turnover. Didn't get it.
Couldn't quite get clamped on the ball the way he wanted to, and we have another attempt at a pick and go here. We're right on the Ulster line. Connacht in a familiar position, just driving away, looking for it, and they've crossed the line, and it's that man Copeland touches down for another 5 points, and Connacht really starting to put some points on the board here with 20 minutes to go.
Okay, one. Here. Yeah. Okay, I understand you're frustrated. If I see that, I'll deal with it.
And there was that high shot there on De Butler. Thought he was going to slip through and make it all the way, but well taken down by Hughes.
And arguably another one coming in on the second tackle.
As we take a look at a little width here, Dean tries
So
to
here's your
find his room.
opportunity for a turnover coming right up, I believe.
We're coming back to the score, actually, as Copeland just saw his opportunity here, rolls away.
Robocopsy.
Himself across the line, and that kick is good. We're at 39-7. Connacht over Ulster.
For me, you went off your feet
Just
initially,
about halfway through this second half of action. And Ulster guys really need to stem this tide for this last 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, to my point there, I mean, Connacht moved the ball. There was one probably poor decision. Ball carrier got a little bit isolated. 3 Ulster players around him, and that's when you have to go for the kill defensively. You've got to wait, pick your moment, make your tackle, pick your moment. But they missed a chance.
We're good now. Okay, time's up.
Ulster get us started again. Ball goes back over there and knocked on.
Oh.
No problem there. It looks like Graham Curtis is going to be the recipient of a very lucky bounce there off of Connacht. Little mistake on that kickoff, and he's closing down the points a bit. They're still chasing the game, but a little bit of good individual intelligence.
Yeah, I thought we were watching sevens there. Great high kick, restart, bungled by Connacht. One play, and they scored.
Just went over their lifting pod there. Winds up in Curtis's hands. And Curtis certainly going to find the try zone at that. Caught a couple of players unaware. James Mitchell couldn't quite react.
You know, and Steve, as you mentioned earlier, it's these guys are all playing for a job. You know, they're playing for a professional job. They're playing to represent Ireland. And you've got the coaches that'll be called by the powers that be and say, who raised their hand?
And that one's good. We are at 39-14. Connacht leads Ulster in this Cara Cup matchup here at the Union Point Sports Complex here in beautiful Weymouth, Massachusetts.
And it's not as cold as we thought it would be.
Is this what you call the Massachusetts Riviera? If it is, I'm missing the point.
Connacht gets us underway this time, puts it deep inside the zone there, and Hughes tries to shake a couple. Able to release that ball.
He didn't fool anybody.
Not too many people. A little sloppy pass there.
Okay, he's off it now.
Show and go from Ulster, but driven back by some very solid Connacht defense. Ball getting moved across field. A little slide out back there, but that doesn't go to hand. And see what kind of work they can make out of this. They try to move it wide. A little dummy to the inside, a little dummy to the outside. And the hooker, Zach McCall, showing some of his skills. Now they're able to reset through Regan. Ball was moved back out there by Bruce Houston. Coming in at fly half now. And Ulster into the Connacht territory. Several reserves on the field now are going to want to raise their hand as the captain Marcus Ray takes it in, and still on the run is Ulster. Got a bit of a good run of play, nearly a nice little offload there, but forced to go into contact. Do they have the runners across the field as they go out the back? Little slip pass there, and they get a ball down to McCall, and he's active, and he gets the ball to Graham Curtis, and Graham Curtis is on the left-hand side for another try. Curtis certainly lightening up in this last 20 minutes.
Making it exciting.
Certainly is.
Here's your replay, John.
Yeah, a great range in the middle of the field here. That's a second row forward, incidentally. That's excellent work by McKee. Set this whole thing up.
And now they move just a little wrap around the back there, and nicely held by Moore.
Well,
Moore gets to McCall, and McCall releases Curtis. No problem, and Curtis certainly racking up the points this evening. Great drawn pass there from the big hooker.
Moore drawing in the two tacklers, getting the ball out, textbook play.
It is Bruce Houston.
Is the coach kicking this one?
Another Ballymena man, 19-year-old. Has had one game with the senior team. A little wobbly, but looks okay. Assistant referees are happy with it.
That is not an easy kick.
39-21. Ulster. Can they work some magic in this final 15 minutes? Ulster A really starting to hit their straps. Connacht.
Do they have enough time, Stephen?
Hear what you're saying. Sorry, I forgot your way.
13 minutes, 50 seconds. That's enough time for 3 scores, absolutely. But Connacht comfortable in control of the game there, and they just like 2 quick scores, and this whole thing is a different complexion now.
And the coach's nightmares as we've got a little bobble off the ensuing kickoff. Some Connacht and Ulster players getting to know one another.
Yeah, little handbags at dawn there by the wingers.
Captain, still yeah.
So, I mean, if you're Connacht at this stage, you want to reassert your control. You play a bit of territory, a bit of possession, put the ball down in the
creeping into the game.
bottom half of the field, go back to your set pieces.
It's got to stop now. I'm going to penalise next time. Yeah, do talk. Do you want 30 seconds? Yeah, but it's got to stop now, lads, okay? Yeah.
It has been actually a pretty clean, well-fought encounter. I mean, there's been little nonsense, nothing much off the ball.
Okay,
low
guys,
penalty
talk,
count. Good game to watch.
The referee Busby
Talk,
just
Marcus,
brings us back
Abby.
together here.
Yeah. Talk, yeah.
Ulster knock on.
Here we are, that's it.
Connacht
I go,
scrum.
Just stay in the fight, okay? Go come around the outside.
Let's try to score a Copeland in shot there.
Crunch!
Look at the Welsh-born Hughes.
Set!
And our scrums are together here. Play underway. Copeland has the ball at his feet. Mitchell moves it across. They've got runners coming from a couple of different directions there, but that one doesn't happen as they were looking for Oren McNulty, their replacement.
Okay, off and right wide.
Mitchell now moves it across to the big number 7, James Connolly, starting to feature in the second half. Dean moves it wide. They're looking for some runners, and they're slipping that ball around. Ball winds up in Connor Hayes' hands. From Luke Carty has come into the game. Fly half in the first Cara Cup encounter versus New England Free Jacks. As they go behind one of their waiting forward pods there, and Copeland forced to step back inside by some good pressure from those Ulster defenders. And a somewhat errant pass. Has to be cleaned up by Connacht. Ulster player and over the ball, can't quite take it away. So they move the ball to Keane Huxford.
Ball's available.
Once again, they move it out to the back there, and that big man O'Brien gets hold of it. The Butler gets hold of it. Move the ball to Oren McNulty. McNulty is looking for someone to get the ball to Butler. He's got Michael Strong hauling him to the ground, and Connacht's going to be able to take this down, and Dean steps in, distributes the ball nicely. Jordan Duggan takes a shot there. Dean looking for a gap through, looking for an offload, finds neither. They move it again through Strong. O'Brien moves it wide. Timing not there, but footwork is definitely there as number 11, Connor Hayes, finds his way through a couple, touches down for a try here, and Connacht answers those 2 tries from Ulster and pull ahead even further.
And able to hold on to the ball a couple of times where you thought maybe Ulster would be able to get a turnover. They didn't.
And there it is right there as a bit of messy ball comes around. Ball flipped back out to Butler. Nice little run there. Messy play turns into something coming nice across the field, and look for all money. Like Hayes was done here, and Hayes' footwork is able to just carry him through, and covering Ewan Hughes.
My bounce passes never worked like that.
Hughes there just couldn't hang on to Connor Hayes. Well worked try, nice work across the field, good individual effort.
It would be remiss, however, not to discuss the Ulster tackling that series of play. Both sides there, they in position to make a tackle, just fell off slightly. Is that fatigue getting into the latter stages of the game? But certainly they'll want to look at that when they watch this film.
Nice strike there. The flag stayed down, however.
That's time's off.
And we are at 44-21 with just about 10 minutes to go in this Cara Cup match.
Yeah, no, give me a second. Give me a second. You're going to be going in a second here, aren't you? Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. Fellas, time's off. White.
Time is off according to the referee. I think we're making a couple of changes here. Looks like big Corey Barrett has come into the game for Ulster.
No, you're okay.
Anything stand out for you tonight, Steve, as a player that you like?
A player that I like? Yeah, I mean, I think quite a few of the outside backs have been quite impressive. I like them. You know, ones in Connacht we discussed and expected. Copeland and Connolly are obviously experienced performers. Kenny, Connacht tight head, not quite as dominant performance before he went off injured. I like Johnny Murphy, the Connacht hooker. And actually, Zach McCall, the Ulster hooker, showed some nice touches. So plenty of good skills on display.
You know, I thought Stuart Moore in spurts when he got the ball did well with it for Ulster.
Runner.
Jack Owens, number 11, also a strong runner. They couldn't get consistency in the back line.
We're going to shut a replacement McCann there. Just getting a player sorted out for Connacht here, and we're going to be good to go. Referee Busby allowed him time to get a fresh contact in. And McCann gets us underway with yet another high hanging ball into the sky there. This time it's taken down well by Connolly. Sent out to a happily waiting forward. And Mitchell gets it again, a little back inside move.
Nice on the ball, he's on the ball.
Connacht inside their own 22, looking to move the ball quickly. Ball's knocked on there. Been unfortunate for Connolly. Got a pass shoved off to him. Then we're going to have a scrum here for Ulster.
Hold on, we've got an injury here anyway, so time's off, yeah?
The referee just diffusing some tempers there.
Yeah, okay, I have a time off. I mean, that was a contact, that was his leg, I think, went there, but...
Now we've got a...
Yeah, I'll just double check, yeah.
Got an injury.
Right here, folks. That's enough.
Yeah, we got a man down, fellas. Seems to be a calf or a lower leg injury.
Okay, so he is going to be going off here, fellas. No, you're okay. You're okay. Take your time.
And we are going to go down pitch side to Leverett Ball.
Thank you, gentlemen. So obviously, you know, there's the stoppage right now for the injury, but you know, this has been a great opportunity for Connacht to look at some of their younger talent. And obviously, with the way they're playing tonight and the way they played over New England, this has to be a huge confidence boost for them. I'm interested at, you know, have a chance to talk with Coach after the game about who surprised him the most. But it really has been a productive trip for this Connacht roster thus far. Gentlemen?
Thank you, Leverett. As we see a player exiting the field here for Connacht.
Steady. Wait for the ball, okay, yeah. You got a sub on all right, don't we? Yeah.
And we're going to come back. Referee Busby happy to get the game going again with just about 8 minutes to go. Here in this Cara Cup match, 44-21, Connacht leading Ulster.
Crutch! Bind! Set!
And Ulster now on the move.
Keep up there, one. Keep up. Keep that elbow up.
Gets that ball in. That scrum is starting to crumple. We'll see what happens here, but they're able to move it off the back.
Wait, sorry, lads. Green release! Green release! Off at 8. 8 release!
Referee telling Copeland he's got to let go of that ball. Ulster will maintain it here as they send Marcus Ray, 6'2", 231-pound open side flanker, into the contact. They're going to recycle it again and come out to yet another waiting forward. Big number 4, J.J. McKee. The Ballymena
okay, let it go
Rugby
now,
Club.
Green off feet. No, let it go.
Any penalty against
Here,
Connacht
no,
this time,
here.
and they're going to go quick.
It's here.
Michael Strong really wanted to go quickly
Off feet
there.
and feet and hands.
Ulster has decided to go for the corner here, and they're going to try to drive this one in. See if they can one-up Connacht late in this game.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Zach McCall certainly been active around the field today. 2 really exciting hookers.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Both teams to watch.
Your receiver, yeah. Okay, back now.
Ball to the middle of the lineup there.
Ball.
They've come down with it and see what they can do as they drive towards the line, and it splinters away. Good defense there from the Connacht forwards. As Strong was looking for it, but Connacht forces a knock-on in that maul, and we're going to have a scrum here for Connacht deep inside their own zone. But they've been pretty strong in this area, certainly. As we take another look here, that ball comes in there. They're just trying to make something out of it, and a little too much pressure as they push it forward. Well, a scrum here for Connacht.
And guys, for the folks at home that are confused like me, Connor Kenny did come back in the game. It's a bit of a lax rule system here, letting players re-enter.
No, it's not a lax rule system. It's a front row injury, then you have to have a front row replacement come back on. That's why he's back on.
They're also playing with the ability to substitute at times.
As our coach and media personality discuss the finer points of rugby, Connacht ready to get underway again here. James Mitchell thinks he was going to get the free kick.
Guys, we're not bad. It's both in the far side. Okay, we'll go to
Ulster here really trying to find a way, some strategy inside this scrum to hold off the Connacht power.
Just undone your lace. Okay, time's off.
As we take our time off, we got somebody.
The weight, yeah. Respect space. Okay, let's go. Let's go, great. Right.
Connacht just outside their own 5-meter line here.
Set. Stay square one. Okay, use it now, lad.
Connacht set up a phase just in the middle of the field. Nice roll from an unheld player. They come back to the right-hand side. May try a kick from here.
It's inside.
Go a little further down to that side of the field.
Just watch that down the ground.
Mitchell.
Yeah. Okay, use now, Green. Stay on 2. It's inside.
Mitchell under some attention from the Ulster forwards, able to get that one up in the air, and multi-try scorer Graham Curtis comes down with it, hit hard by Copeland. Strong push. 4 minutes to go in the game. He has carried quite a bit today. Important part of this Ulster team as they're looking to get something done there. It looks like Connacht has come down with this ball after some messy play. Ulster just trying to push things too much. And that's Connolly getting driven back, and they're going to move it across the field and try to have a run. They certainly have made it happen. But hauled down on that side is the big number 8, Copeland. They're going to have to come back across.
Okay, I'm 7
the Ulster defense just a bit. They go around the back again, and they're not done. The Butler moves it on, and now they've got it to the wing. Let's see what they can do. A bit of a high tackle there on Connor Hayes. He might have been going down on that ball. Referee seems to think it's okay. And we are through the line here with Connacht. Nice little tip pass there. On the run was Kenny. Kenny gets that ball back up to Declan Adamson, but it's a great defensive stand there from Ulster, and they have drawn the penalty.
A flag?
And Ulster.
Okay, guys. Just put the ball down.
The waning minutes of this game, just 2 minutes on game clock.
So that's got a flag, but time's off.
And Stephen, I believe I owe you an apology. I think you were correct on that substitution. Not surprising, though, is it?
And there was Connor Kenny just there as we see the ball get moved across. A big break there from Maximu, the captain. Played a bit for Leicester in England. Maximu actually eligible to play for the national teams of Wales, England, and Ireland.
So the player's passed that late tackle, 17 wide. He's made an effort to drop his
It's
arm.
good work if you can get it.
I'm sure he's trying. As we have time off for just a bit of an injury here to one of the Ulster players. And a referee Busby speaking with the assistant referee.
Okay, so for the fact you're telling me there, we have a late tackle with no grass.
So, yeah, that's the Ulster skipper, Ray, down on the ground there. He's had a tough night leading this team, but you know, that's all captains will have to do. You have to regroup, get them together over the next 2-3 days, and they get another crack at the cherry this Sunday against the Free Jacks. So they'll obviously be coming out looking to put on a performance that evening.
There's a guy's on a flag for a late hit. No effort grasp, and there is some force. There's no option. It's a yellow card. Okay, yeah, I'll give you the mark. I'll get you time to get set.
Gentlemen, ideas on men of the match. We're going to have to start thinking about it.
Okay, sorry, guys.
We certainly are. As we're back in action here, there's going to be a penalty, it looks like,
Okay, guys,
against
mark
Ulster.
here. You're set, yeah. Okay, time's on. Hang on a second.
Connacht. Just under 2 minutes on our game clock here before we go into referee's time. Another opportunity to put it downfield.
Put it downfield, win the line out, get it in the shed, hot cup of cocoa, warm up.
Okay. Okay, White, let's get set. I'll get the bend. Is it 4? Just on me, yeah. Can you bring that with you?
So back to that man of the match.
Yeah.
What were you thinking, gentlemen?
Well, John, I don't want to argue with you guys, but I think the consensus is Johnny Murphy.
I think I've seen a battle between two great hookers today. Very energetic, very dynamic, lots of work around the field. But being on the winning side, Johnny Murphy for me takes it. Steve?
Yes, I would concur. Two good hookers, and yet again, second game in the series, it goes to Connacht front row man. This time, the hooker, Johnny Murphy.
Johnny Murphy does a great job there, but Connolly's not done. Connacht would like some more points here as we're just over the minute mark. But a penalty against Ulster, a late game defense, turns that one over, and they're going to go quick, throwing the kitchen sink out there, but a big hit comes in. A little boot comes in, and it's sloppy ball right now with not much time left. We're going to have a scrum here for Ulster inside their own zone.
Copeland, the veteran, still, that motor is purring. Just nice big hit there on an unsuspecting back from Ulster.
Yeah.
He's a large human being.
That'll be the last one. Just make it a good one, yeah.
Referee says this will most likely be our last play of the game, barring penalty here.
We're both injured, are we? Okay.
It's a great example for the younger player, seeing a guy like that working that hard.
With yellow card and injury, just check if I have anybody else to come on. Yeah, he'll have to come on anyway.
Ulster looks like they'll be bringing somebody back on for this last scrum.
That's a gap in the front row there, so that's a situation where you have to bring on a front row player.
So in any case, the hooker's going to have to come on, Johnny.
Look at Stuart Moore.
But it'll still be at 14. I think so. Well, you'll tell me, is he a hooker? Or
run out of players.
But he'll have to come on and start, so somebody else will go up and it'll be uncontested. He'll start in the front row. Somebody will have to go off, yeah. So Johnny, just to be clear, that's a hooker coming on, so contested, but they're at 14, yeah?
Just to be clear here, when it's not uncontested scrums, you have to bring on a front row player. What that means is you have to take off another player.
Yeah,
typically they'll take off a winger or fullback. At this stage of the game, with 30 seconds left, not that major consideration, but typically this can get quite complicated if you're a coach.
Okay, we've one on, but we need one off, fellas. You got a number for off there, Johnny?
Complicated situation.
Okay. So guys, just while we're getting set up here, it's uncontested. Yeah, enough. Yeah.
I remember Georgia in a similar situation, right, where they were victimized by this kind of situation.
Yes.
We have a little look here, and we're just waiting for things to get sorted out. I'm sure both these teams at this point would just rather be in the dressing room warming up. before the next Cara Cup.
They know that they get a player off, lads.
Coming
they know
this
that
Sunday.
They get a player off.
We'll talk about that in just a minute.
What's your number? Okay. So, guys, we're all set. 8 in. Yeah. It's uncontested, so Ulster must win the ball.
The referee's
We'll
just going to give Ulster the ball. It's going to be an uncontested scrum here.
A little extra time for front row people to figure things out. No, John?
I don't know.
Crunch. Bind. Set. Okay, now you're ready. Yep.
And Ulster, Hughes tries to get a run there. And there's the man. He scored a number of tries. He bounces off a couple of people. Last gasp here for Ulster. Barreling through with McCann.
Okay, you're off now. Let it go. Good work.
Ball was moved across there from Houston. Off they go, moving it out the back. Houston one more time, slips that ball.
Okay, off feet 17.
Connacht defenders coming over that. Still good pressure from these Connacht defenders, but able to wriggle free. Looked like Clayton Milligan.
Oh.
A bounce pass out the back. And a hooker McCall. He's certainly not done. Houston moves it up again.
7-0.
Big hit there from Connolly. Ball's in the midfield, little slip. Looked like it went forward to Hughes.
Flat.
Referee's going to let it go. Connacht comes up with it. We'll see what they decide to do. The time is up, according to the referee. And getting done with this game is what James Mitchell wants to do. And full time here at the Cara Cup. It is Connacht 42, Ulster 21. So, pretty interesting game. Ulster had a few good runs there and started to string it together. What did you see in that second half? Coach Lewis.
Yeah, gave it 2 halves, right? First was Connacht dominating set pieces, 3 rolling mauls off lineouts, and they went out to a 22-7 lead. Second half, much more open affair, both sides throwing the ball around, both sides more accurate, and actually pretty much even, 20 points apiece in the second. But too far a gap for Ulster to close to make it a contest.
And that's 2-0 for Connacht in this Cara Cup. They win over the local New England Free Jacks, and now a win over the rivals Ulster sets them in good stead in this competition.
Yeah, it's a great competition that's unfolding in front of us, and an historic competition. But, again, getting back to the stats, the numbers, Ulster, 6 or 7 penalties to 2 for Connacht, and the knock-ons, 7 to 2 as well. And that's, in a situation like this, you got to be more careful with the ball.
Yeah, and they got to get their rhythm together. And they're going to play again against the New England Free Jacks on Sunday. We'll have that information for you in just a minute as we're taking a look at the Ulster team here. Very, very good start to this. And they'll play each other. They'll play each other again, I'm sure. And right now we're going to go down to Leverett Bell, who's talking to our man of the match, Connacht hooker, Johnny Murphy.
Thank you, gentlemen. So, Johnny, obviously 2 dominant wins for your team. First over New England, then now, obviously over Ulster. How much of a confidence boost is it for your team with the way you played during this Cara Cup?
Yeah, it was great. We really sort of used our strengths in the games against the Free Jacks. The scrum was a real positive for us, and we sort of manipulated that along with tonight our maul. So we just sort of wanted to play to our strengths and come out hard, play both halves rather than slipping off, because we knew Ulster would come out all guns blazing in the second half.
Obviously the conditions were tough tonight. It was freezing out. I can't imagine, getting hit in this type of weather. But, how are you guys able just to work through that and, maintain your focus, get the job done?
We're from Galway, so we're quite used to the cold and wind now. So, just half-time now it was tough coming back out. It was quite cold. But, you just got to suck it up. As soon as you put that first hit in, first carry, you're back in the game and sort of goes to the back of your mind.
And what has this whole entire experience been like for you guys? You know, obviously having a chance to come here to the U.S. and not only play some rugby, but also experience the culture. I know you guys are in the St. Patrick's Day parade. What has this entire trip been like for you and your teammates?
No, it's been great. Like, there's a few of the guys, including myself, that have never been to America, so it's been a great experience, and everyone's welcomed us with open arms. Couldn't have done enough for us, so I'd really like to thank all the people that brought us over and just treated us so well. The experience in the St. Patrick's Day parade was outrageous. Like, we had never seen anything like that. Even like back home in Ireland, like, there's nothing remotely close to that. And it was an amazing experience. So, you know, everyone's enjoyed it, and you know, we head back tomorrow, but like, it'll be fond memories of our trip.
And my last question, you know, how important are events like the Cara Cup, you know, for the growth and exposure of the sport of rugby?
Oh, it's massive. Like you can see all the sports in America. Like, there's such a huge talent pool, and if rugby was to kick off, it would be huge here. And like, it's just growing on and on and on every year, and it's an amazing experience for us as well, because it takes us out of our comfort zone. Like, we flew, you know, 7 hours across. You know, it sort of puts us in a position where we have to switch on and be on the ball. And you know, obviously the Free Jacks are in the league next year, and like, I wish them all the best, and I'm sure they'll do great. And like, it's just an amazing experience for all of us.
Well, hey, great job tonight. Thank you so much for your time.
Cheers, thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Leverett, and that's almost it for us. Final thoughts, Matt?
Well, you had a kid from Northern Ireland who made his debut for Connacht in Bordeaux, winning man of the match honors here against a team from Northern Ireland in Massachusetts.
Final thoughts, Steve?
Roll on Sunday. Want to see how the Free Jacks fare against this Ulster side.
Roll on Sunday it is. 6:30 Sunday evening. Ulster will take on the New England Free Jacks, New England's first professional rugby team. For Steve Lewis and Matt McCarthy, I'm John Broker. We're going to see you at the next rugby game.